Thank you, Kelvin, for sharing how you met our Oza Surjalal Sharma. Next, I would like to call on stage Mr. Somi Raikhan to kindly share a few words.
First and foremost, I would like to give my thanks to the North American Manipur Associations for giving me this prestigious award. And I am extremely overwhelmed and truly honored by this award. And I would also like to extend my congratulations to my co-winner, Galvin Singh from the Department of Physics. It gives us incentive to work harder for our research and contribute more in our respective field of research. Honorable Vice Chancellor of this university, senior professors, Board of Trustee and MA, my colleagues and ladies and gentlemen, as a proud recipient of this award, I honor and feel that I honor the visions of Dr. late Surjalal Sharma and committed to make a profound academic impact in my social science research. Today, I'm a bit honorable yet at the same time intimidated by the presence of our Vice Chancellor because he was the HOD of our department. So I feel like I'm giving another round of PhD interview, but I hope it goes well. So let me begin with how I began to do this research. So I did my pre-PhD in the summer sessions of June 2022 and final registrations in June 2023 again. So I'm currently working under the supervisions of Dr. Misala Ramakrishna under the topic Analytical Study of Christianity from the Indigenous Perspective in the late 19th and early 20th century. So this idea of research traces back to my MA days, where I happened to offer one elective course, that is Religion and Community in Colonial Manipur. So in that paper, most of the lectures, most of the reading lists are mostly about caste-based conversions in mainland India. So I began to ask myself why history from the Northeast, why people of those margins are not able to include in the structure syllabus of many leading universities and colleges. So these questions started asking in my mind while listening and reading some of the readings that I studied in my MA. So I see two two problems in our academic paradigm. One is at the institutional level, where our history, our literature, our memory are not part of the syllabus structures, are not part of the history of many leading institutions in Indian universities. And the other thing is in the field the colonial writings by the writings of these missionaries. So when I start working on the synopsis of this research topic, I talk to some of my friends, to some of my colleagues, to some of my teachers, and what I got from them mostly is, why do you want to work on this research topic? Again, this topic is one of the most researched topic in Northeast India history. What new perspectives would you like to bring here in this topic? So it gives me more hard work to read the existing literature more closely, and I came to know that yes, I'm not denying the fact that there are many research works already done in this field of study, but I see only one-sided story, that is the success stories of missionary movements in the hills. So I began to read closely and come to the conclusions that I need to write history where the other voice, the other agency of history are neglected and overlooked in the mainstream national history. So how I see my work in relations to the work that I've already done in this area is I want to write this history not from the colonial perspective, but from the perspective of those converts who converted to Christianity. So missionary movement is a big historical event which I can connect it from Latin America to African countries and Southeast Asia, including the northeastern part of India, through these historical trajectories of colonialism. So this late 19th century and 20th century is also very significant in our academic discourse because it brings us new perspective where we witness the transitions from pre-gospel to the gospel period, and also we witness a domain of shifting from orality to the written text, and the increasing number of codifications and textualizations through the introductions of English education. So in the colonial discourse, what I see is most of the colonial archives, missionary archives, are written in such a way that they control the narratives, and we are not able to get out of the box and be the owner of our own history. So I want to write this narrative in such a way that we know the discourse of our own history, we know the history of our own people. So in such a way I want to write. So I was reading a lot of subaltern schools of thought history, and I'm extremely influenced by the works of Ranajit Guha. Subaltern school of thought in many ways are extremely important for modern research scholars like me, because it gives me incentive to look at the history from different perspectives. And subaltern school of thought, which is the coin itself, was termed by the Italian Marxist Antonio Gramsci, referring to those people at the margins like the peasants, the common people, the slaves. And Ranajit Guha, in his work, applied this term in different historical contexts and applied in Indian history by countering the elitist school of thought in Indian history. So I took the conceptual, the theoretical analysis, the influence of Ranajit Guha in applying the same method in doing this missionary history. So one reason why we are not able to write indigenous-oriented history is we don't know how to read the sources. So I'm trying to read these colonial sources, this colonial history, along and against the grain, along in the sense that I need to know the context, how these source materials, how the knowledge are produced by the missionaries, by the colonial officials, and also read in between the lines, find the missing dots and connect it, and write in such a way that I can also bring out those voices which are underrepresented in the mainstream national history. So the current trend of missionary writing in Northeast India are in such a way framed that we only know the success stories of the missionary movements. So what are those overlooked domains, those neglected spaces that we are not able to see it, we are not able to write it, are those aspects which we do not know the real life experiences, the private memories, the problems that are faced within the family members in the public space. Such things we do not see in the missionary history of the current trend of writing. So I'm trying to write this history from the converts perspective history, where I need to share my findings, my knowledge, and for me research is about finding what I found, sharing what I know, what I find in the research, rather than keeping those knowledge within myself. So as a recipient of this award, I believe that, okay, so I believe that my works, my academic aspirations connects well to the visions of this late Dr. Surjalal Sharma Memorial Grant. Thank you so much for your kind listening. Thank you.